Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 45. In today's episode, we're going to sit down and talk about employee participation in process safety management. This is a pretty short one, but it's a very important one. I think this is probably one of the keys to process safety management because employees are the experts. They know the process. They know the faults. They know when the motor is going to burn up. They really have a lot of this knowledge that's out there. Sometimes they do a great job of sharing it. Sometimes they've tried to share this knowledge and they've been told you don't know what you're talking about. They've been told no. So there's varying degrees of participation when it comes to how open people want to be with the process. So let's go through a couple of the steps. So process safety management found on the OSHA regs 29 CFR 1910.119. Employee participation is a really short section, just a couple of sentences, but basically it says employers will consult employees and representatives on the conduct and development of process hazard analysis and the other elements of process safety management. So basically they're saying get input on all 14 sections. They're not saying, oh, just kind of talk to them a little bit about things. Get input from them on all 14 sections out there. A little bit farther down it says employers shall provide employees access to process hazard analysis and all other information. So you might be looking at a legacy process that's already been done, it's already in place. You could be looking at one that's coming online. You might be brand new to the group. So you're just trying to look at what the group has already done. Things like recommendations, were they followed, were they not followed? And regardless of if they were followed or not, there's got to be a reason why out there. There just can't be, hey, thanks a lot for writing these things down, but maybe we'll take it and maybe we won't. There has to be a reason why why these recommendations were taken or they weren't taken in. So let's kind of switch gears some and talk about why I think it's really important that we have this in process safety management. And it's because they are the experts. I can sit in my cube and I can write a awesome SOP that means nothing at all because I'm not the expert. It means that I went down there, I walked around, I traced all the pipes, I looked at the process vessels, I looked at everything, and I said, I got a good plan. I just did a safety hazard analysis on this. Got to get with the employees. They know the process. So they know the hazards when it comes to the operation and the maintenance, which puts them at a fantastic position to help out with the job hazard analysis. Do a step by step and go back and say, have we minimized and hopefully eliminated any form of a hazard in every step that we're doing as part of these SOPs. Some people will call them a risk assessment. There's lots of different names, but what we're looking for is how are we going to operate the process out there. They also know the failure modes. They can tell you when there's going to be a gasket that has to be changed out. There's a leaking fitting, a pump or a motor sounds different, and that doesn't always mean that it's going to die. But they kind of know these things from operating the process, so they can kind of say, oh, I've heard that sound in the motor before. History has told me that at some point we had to order a motor and swap it out in a month or two. So they have a lot of this knowledge. One of the problems is that you literally can't write down every bit of knowledge that every person has. That's why it's super important to get input from these guys. So they are also the ones who should be writing these procedures. So I can write an awesome one. I'm not the one operating it. I'm not the guy doing the maintenance on it. So it really has to be it really has to be written by the people who are doing these so they can go back and put it in their terms, their language, because it's really them who has to run and operate this. So That is it for this short and sweet episode number 45, Employee Participation in Process Safety Management. Thank you so much for joining me today. My name is Dr. David Ayers, and have a safe day.